the area that we're in here in this upper garden, this previously was, again, it was like new construction. It was a fluffy loam with grass. And as a land trust, we look at ways that we can make people excited and comfortable to get outside. So we felt that doing native plants, things that maybe people have in their own backyard here in Down East Maine, or things that people would see out on our hiking trails, would be a great way to get people excited to explore this property as well as our other properties. Frenchman Bay Conservancy, we are a land trust here in eastern Hancock County. We have been around since 1987, and in 2017 we acquired this property here on Tidal Falls Road in Hancock, renovated what was previously a private home, and during that renovation a lot of work was done here to the ground around our offices. It led us to what essentially looked like new construction. What we found was that we're on a hill here on Tidal Falls Road, and we are experiencing a lot of flooding, erosion, a lot of groundwater coming down the hill. So we needed to find a solution to deal with those water problems, and that led us to start looking into what we could do with native plants. We had contractors come in and reshape the ground that would be conducive to building gardens. We worked with Nature Nurture Landscape Design and the Native Gardens of Blue Hill to help us design this landscape. They took a list of species that we provided them that we have available on our properties and used that to create gardens that were appropriate to the different spaces of the property that we have here at Tidal Falls. We built in rain gardens that really are designed to flood. The part of the property that we're on here, this is at the bottom of the hill that we're on and sees the most runoff. So these gardens here are made to absorb that water that comes off of the hill, stops it from moving further onto the property, but also supports all the plants that are here in this part of the garden. We have seen really a monumental change in the erosion. We've had parts of the property at the back side of the property that had significant damage because of the ongoing erosion. We have had some hardscaping and groundwork done to deal with that, but combined with what we've done here in the garden, it's really a remarkable change. So this is something we're excited to show people that, you know, here in coastal Maine, climate change is a concern. Rising seawaters are a concern for those of us who have properties on the coast. So working with a native plant, such a great solution to dealing with those issues of rising waters and flooding. You know, and we've also found from this garden that the increase in pollinators. One of our other staff, our director of conservation, sent me a video the other day and was like, look at your work. You know, there were butterflies and dragonflies and bees, and the garden was literally buzzing. So just to be able to see that, the benefit that we're bringing, and also to see, you know, visitors and kids. Maybe kids are learning about pollinators in school right now, and they come here and they see it all in action. So it's really exciting to be able to see that.
So native plants and pollinators are really interdependent and interconnected because of their long evolutionary history together. So native plants benefit from pollinators because they need pollinators to actually move their pollen to other individuals of the same species. And native pollinators benefit from native plants because they get the pollen, they get the nectar, some of the other floral resources as well. So it's really important that we have native plants for our native pollinators across the country and across the world.
So these pollinators, especially our native ones, cannot survive without the native plants. There's a couple different factors that are really going into that process. One of the big ones is what we call pollination syndromes. So pollinators know to are attracted to certain colors, shapes, and sizes of flowers. So a lot of our native plants, or native bees, sorry, I should say, are really attracted to clusters of small blue or purple flowers, either on globes or spikes. If we start bringing in non-natives that don't fit that pollination syndrome, a lot of the times our native pollinators can miss those as an adequate food source. The native species here, especially since we have such big seasonal shifts, they tend to be highly specialized. So some of our native bees, like my favorite, it's called Osmia atrivens, the main blueberry bee. It's this tiny little bright metallic blue bee that pollinates blueberry. If it doesn't have those wild blueberries though, that population is going to crash.